Okay, I just restarted my computer. My mouse is jumping around. Hopefully it won't. So in this third video, I want to show you two things. The first is the right click, and the second is something called constant controller. So let's just set up some equations. So how about y equals absolute value of x? Now to do that, you can use vertical bars. That's shift and the button located near your enter key. Or you can just do ABS for absolute value. X plus 1, let's say, enter, it graphs. Let's do another graph. How about y equals negative x plus 2. Okay, there's a second graph, and if I want to find the intersection, for example, click one, it goes black when it's selected, click the other, right click, and select solve f of x equals g of x. Now when you right click an object or a set of objects, a context sensitive menu will appear with the potentially useful options. So if I select f of x equals g of x, a point has appeared. Okay, and in the bottom left it has the solution. Okay, now if you want to make that big so the class can see it, hit text box, enter, whoops, okay, and there's the solution nice and big. You can move it over to the right if you want. Okay, so some more examples. Let's say I have a point. I want to draw the point on the line. I can then switch back to my cursor and select the point, right click, and it'll show me whatever options there are. So down here I can draw a tangent, a normal line, horizontal line, vertical line, etc. Okay, and if you do draw an object based on another one, it'll adjust. So for example, if I move this point now, the vertical line moves with it. So something to explore is just maybe create different objects and select them and right click and see what you can do. For example, if I pick these three points, I should be able to draw a circle. Right click, sure enough you have all sorts of options such as drawing a circle through them. Now that doesn't look like a circle, I should square my axes to make it look like a circle. So I really just wanted to point out the right click option for you. It is very useful, especially if you're trying to do something. Just click the objects involved, right click, and hopefully you see what you want to do. Another useful right click is the table of values. So if you select the graph, right click, there is table of values. Okay, it'll ask you, what do you want in the table of values? Maybe I just want to go from -3 to +3 in steps of 1. Hit OK, and the table of values will pop up in this results box. So that's right click. Next I want to show you is some animation with the constant controller. So let's make a new page. Let's say I want to graph a parabola. Now here's my y equals x squared. Maybe I'll call that the base parabola. But what if we wanted to investigate what happens for y equals ax squared? I'll call that transformation. Now when you use a letter other than a variable like x, Autograph knows that it's a constant. So the default value for constants will always be 1. So for a that makes sense, but let's say I want to do ax squared plus q. Now I don't want q to default to 1, I want it to go to 0. So hit edit constants, here's a, let's switch q's default value to 0, and that's just its starting values. Hit OK, and now I can see that my transformation is on top there. If I want to adjust the parameter values, the a and q values, hit this K button, constant controller. Okay, now we can adjust the values for a or for q. Okay, so for example, q starts at 0, and it'll change in increments of 0.1. If I move the value of q up, we can see my graph is going up. Okay, maybe I want to, instead of 1, go in steps of 0.5. I can change that, and now q will jump by 0.5. If I click the graph, the lower left never mind, it didn't show up. So that's adjusting the graph manually. Okay, I can also adjust the A value. Maybe I want to adjust it in steps of 0.5. And I can move the value of A up or down. These left and right values just adjust the step size. Okay, so that's manually changing the constants. We can also change them automatically with an animation. So for the A parameter, you can see here A, maybe I want to start at -3 and go to 3, and I want to do steps of 0.1, let's say. Hit OK. Now hit the play button, and the value of A will change according to those increments. Okay, I can stop the animation. I can also show a family plot, so that'll show all of those steps at once. So let's use the same range, hit OK, and there's the family plot. Now on the family plot, I can click a specific curve, and in the lower left corner, it'll show me what value of A is for that particular curve. Okay, so that's pretty cool, and you can get creative and use that in various ways to make the math interactive and exciting.